Welcome to the Grab the Map podcast, where we don't just look at it, we grab the map. I'm so excited that you joined me today. I'm excited every time I get to do a podcast, but especially today because I've got a guy named Barrett Brady on the call, and I have to say, this is one of those five guys in my circle that has made me think bigger in a lot of ways. So I'm excited to be able to share him with you all today. Going to interview him today and allow him to just talk a lot about his experience in real estate. As you know, on this podcast, we talk a lot about rental real estate, investing in real property and improving that property so that we can get cash flow off of the property. So without any further ado, Barrett Brady, are you there, man? Are you there?
Man, I'm here. I appreciate you having me on today.
Man, I'm excited that you decided to do this. We've been trying to connect for a while, and it just synced up that today we can do this. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your experience in real estate so far?
Man, sure. I guess I bought my first deal back in somewhere around 2016. And since then, I've probably, I don't know, I hadn't done as many deals as you, but I've probably done 25 to 30 real estate transactions, whether it was land, homes, or buildings, or, things like that. So I don't have a whole lot of properties, but the ones I do have worked out really well. They've worked out really well, so cash flowing really good. So.
Awesome, man. It's funny that you say you hadn't done a whole lot of transactions, and then you say, well, maybe I've done close to 30 transactions in a few years. I know a lot of people listening to the podcast are trying to get their very first transaction. So I think you have a wealth of knowledge that you can share with us. But just thinking about that, like, why did you get started? What caused you to do that first deal?
Man, it goes deeper than I thought it did. On the surface, my grandfather was in real estate. I mean, he had a few businesses. His whole life he would buy condos and things on the beach and turn around and flip them and sell them. And I didn't realize what he was doing until I started doing it. And so that was kind of my early experience with it, I guess you'd say. But when I really got started was I think it was back in 2015. I was working. I had a drive to go sell. I was selling some. I was beer salesman. And I had a 3-hour drive one way. We had some land, some area over in the Delta, Mississippi Delta, that we had to sell. And every week I had a 3-hour drive one way, so 6 hours a day or 6 hours one day a week. And I was introduced to podcasts. Somebody, I guess they'd been around for a while, but I didn't know about them. And anyway, I found this podcast called Bigger Pockets, and I started listening. I was interested in real estate and all anyway, but I started listening to this podcast. Each episode, man, I listened to probably 100 during that time while I was traveling back and forth. And that's what really got me kind of interested in it. And I did that for, it was probably 2 years before I actually bought, a year and a half before I actually bought my first deal. But so really the way I got started was I was listening to those podcasts, really interested in, and I had two guys that really helped me, Tyler Tucker and Chris Winters. I knew they were especially Tyler was involved, and he had some rental properties and stuff. So I started asking him about how you find a deal, how you buy a deal, and it just kind of went from there. Those two guys really helped me out.
Yeah, and I can testify that those are two really good guys. They've been willing to talk to me and share their knowledge with me as well. And I think we both love bigger pockets, where you can find a place with people from all over the world, really, that are interested in real estate and talking about real estate. It's pretty cool site. And the podcast that they put out is just really, really informative too. So I'm glad
Yeah,
you got started.
man, real estate has guys, it has opened my eyes to a whole different world in the last few years. Um, it's kind of enabled me to have a little extra income. It's enabled me to build my net worth, which enabled me to get more loans, to buy more real estate. Uh, it was one of the deciding factors, or it was what enabled me to be able to make a career change at 35 years old. You know, I've been doing the same thing for 15, 20 years, and it enabled me to get into something else, and without really worrying about it. You know, I had that little extra income that kind of helped me along the way. So
That's right. That's right. So you recently quit your job and got your real estate license, right?
yes, I did. I did.
Walk us through that decision.
Yeah. So long. I'll try and make it short, but we. I recently had an opportunity to switch careers and try something new. I could have stayed. I was in a business, and the business it was so different. It had a change in ownership, and I could have stayed on with the company and continued a W-2 job that I was comfortable with and making a good salary, or I could go out and try something new. And I guess I was already doing real estate and already interested. I love real estate. You know, I was already doing rental properties and flipping land and all kind of stuff like that. So I chose. I was actually Tyler Tucker. I talked with him, and he's a real estate agent with Mossy Oak Properties in Tupelo. So I talked with him and was able to, I talked with Wesley Webb, the broker, and decided they were both excited to bring someone new on. And man, I hadn't looked back yet. I've only been going probably 3 or 4 weeks, but man, it's been a lot of fun.
Right.
So
So you're getting to follow your passion now. So how much would you say your prior real estate deals gave you the confidence to quit your job?
oh man, it was the deciding factor. I mean, it was the if I hadn't had the real estate background, even though it was for a few short years, if I hadn't had that background, I would have never been able to do it. Um, it was the deciding factor, and so far, I feel like it was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made. So, I mean, I love selling, buying, and talking about real estate. So, what better business to be in as a real estate agent?
Yeah, and that's the awesome part of real estate is you can sell real estate, you can buy it, you can hold it, you can flip it, you can create value where there is no value. You can develop land. It's just so many options for what we can do in real estate. We haven't really talked about your family life or your family at this point, but I imagine, I've met your wife, so I imagine that she has a little bit to say in this. How have you managed communication with your wife as you make your real estate deals? Is she supportive?
Man, she is. My wife's great. She's 100% supportive of everything I do, and she's been supportive of this real estate from the start. I mean, it was when I first got started before I bought my first deal. I was telling her, "Hey, I'm going to go out and buy." We were, younger and didn't have a whole lot of money anyway, and I was talking about going out and spending $120,000 on a house that we are, and we're trying to pay our house off. And she was a little skeptical of that at first, but man, since then, golly, things have been great. She's 100% supportive of everything I do. Now, I think it was yesterday. I came home and I told her, I said, "Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, I bought a house today." She said, "Oh, okay," and asked me about it. Oh, cool, sounds good. Looking forward to seeing it. So it's really changed on from our first deal to now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I think my wife has been very similar in that regard. Is that she was a little skeptical at first, and then as things have done well, she is definitely come around. So good to hear that she is supportive.
And I tell you what else, she's really helped me too, because so I was, I was looking at a deal a few months ago. You probably remember which one, but it was several $100,000 that we were looking at buying a group of houses, and I was sold on it. I was ready to do it. The numbers seemed like it worked. And my wife, she didn't think it was a good idea, so we didn't do it. And it turned out it was a damn good decision that we did.
Yeah, I
So
remember. I remember that package. I don't
yeah,
even know whatever happened to that package, but I'm glad neither one of us own it right
yeah,
now.
me too.
All right, so right now we're in the middle of like school closures and business closures. It's the coronavirus, COVID-19 is affecting business. And I did just want to ask you, how do you think coronavirus will impact real estate market in the coming months?
Man, I think overall, for the long term, real estate is going to be really good, but especially the commercial side, I think is what's going to be really hit. The malls, the hotels, the industries that have been hit the hardest with this, it seems like, are retail and hotels and that sector, I guess you'd say. But I think residential real estate, I feel like, is going to be good. I mean, you got interest rates at the lowest they've ever been. I think once this stuff is over, I think we're going to see a boom in house buying. I mean, that's just my opinion. But it does still have a trickle effect, because the people that are working in the hotels, the people that are working in the retail, if they're out of work, it's tough for people to buy houses too. So
You know,
long term it's going to be good, and short term there's going to be some problems. I don't know if that answers your question or not, but
it does. I mean, I think we could see the current problems and the short term problems, and it may get a little bit worse before it gets better. Um, that's why I love investing in rental real estate, um, because that residential area is pretty resistant, especially in growing markets. So, walk us through one of your real estate deals by the numbers. Did you have a deal in mind that you could walk us through?
well, yeah, and just to go back on your point on that is, one thing me and you've talked about before is you in this time, in this coronavirus environment, when the government is, I guess, subsidizing some of people's income and all that. We've talked about it before that the government is going to help people pay their rent, which is good for us, and having residential rentals. It'll be good for us. In my mind, it's a little safer. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I
So
mean, I always say, like, if one or two tenants aren't paying their rent, that's my responsibility. Um, but if 100 tenants can't pay their rent, I'm pretty sure a lot of other landlords are having problems, and the government's going to have to step in. So
Yeah.
that's exactly what's happening right now. Is the government's having to step in. Did you have a deal in mind that you wanted to walk us through?
Um, let's see. One that comes to mind, or one of my best deals, or one of my favorite deals, I guess you'd say, is I think I bought it a year and a half ago. It was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, about 1,700 square feet, in a good area here in town. And a friend of mine actually, he referred it to me. And it was these people had a family member that had passed away, and the house was left to them, and they didn't want to deal with it. They needed somebody to. It was full of stuff, full of all the previous family members. They didn't have anywhere to put it. They didn't. So anyway, it had a very big foundation crack. It was a conventional house, but it had a big crack in the side of the building, or the side of the house. So for I guess a home buyer would be skeptical of buying that, with that problem. I was able to work out a pretty good deal with them. I was able to buy it with cash. I think I paid $40,000. I was able to buy it with cash. I agreed to clean it up, to move all, to get all their stuff out. They didn't have to touch it. They could just walk away. So I was able to buy that house for $40,000. And 1 week later, I think I had a tenant in there for $1,000 a month. A deal to date, I guess you'd say. And the best part about it is I bought that with that 40,000 cash was off prior deals that I had done where I didn't use any of my own money. So it was all other people's money that enabled me to buy that house.
Well, that sounds like an awesome deal. And what would you say that house is worth today? In its current condition.
I mean, in its current condition, it just based off the rent, it'd probably be worth 90,000.
It's amazing.
So, and the tenant's paying that down, or paying for it, and it's a win-win. It was a win for the sellers because they could just walk away.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome that you were able to find that opportunity and to take advantage of it. I see a lot of guys who see an opportunity just like the one you did. Maybe they have a friend or a contractor or somebody that tells them about an opportunity, and they have some trouble making a decision. Like they want to know, like, is it a good deal? They don't want to lose on the deal.
Analysis paralysis, isn't that what they call it? Oh,
Yeah, and I think you talked to me before about you having gone through some of that. What do you think? And I actually know that you've overcome it quite a bit because you just told me you bought a house yesterday. So what has changed in your mind going from the before to now in being able to make those decisions faster?
man, it's back when I was driving 3 hours one way or 6 hours a day, and listening to these podcasts, I did that for almost 2 years, knowing how to do everything, knowing knowing that this house was a good deal, or that house was a good deal. And I had analysis paralysis for 2 years. I did not do it. And I finally just said, you know what? I'm going to make this offer and do this deal. So I took action. And it's just like, man, it was just a snowball after that. Once you do your first one, your second one's easier, your third one's easier, your fourth one's easier. It just gets easier to identify problems. It increases your ability to make a good decision the more you do.
Right. So that's why sometimes you just got to do a deal, right? You just got to do one, and a lot of that starts to snowball.
It's just taking action. I've got friends, I've got family, I've got people I know that talked about things, some of them for years, and never taken action on anything. I mean, it doesn't have to be real estate, but anything. It's all about just taking that action and taking those steps. And once you do, man, you'll never look back.
Awesome, awesome. And I know we're coming to the end of our time here, so I want to bring up something that I think has been important for my business, and I know it's been important to you. We actually started a meetup in our market there in Tupelo, and we uh, we have been having fun with it. It's a small group of guys, but we get together, we talk real estate, we eat a good meal. Usually, you or Chris cook, and y'all throw down. That group has really been important to me in terms of making sure that I have a circle of folks that think bigger than I do, that have more experience in this business. How has the meetup group impacted your life and your business?
Yeah, man, the real estate has been great. We've been doing it for what, 2 years maybe, close
Yeah,
to two.
yeah.
And it's made up of all different kinds of people with different jobs, but with the same interest, real estate. And like you said, we usually meet for every 4 to 6 weeks, cook something. It's been, for me, it's been great. It's just, for me, it's fun just to get out and socialize with people with the same interest, with us. But I've also found some really good deals from the group, and I think everybody in the group has found a deal or two from somebody else in the group. I mean, I think I've had about two duplexes and a house directly from related just from the group, and had some other deals indirectly related, through that group. So it's been great. I mean, I, I, I would encourage everybody who's interested in real estate to find a local group or start a local group and for just real estate, for sure.
Man, it's been amazing just kind of watching it, because we've got all kinds of people in there. We've got contractors, we've got investors, we've got business owners, we've got realtors, we've got lenders. We've got all kind of people in there, and as I think about it, you're right. I think everybody has benefited, and it's a pretty small group. And I
Yeah, I like it like that. It's a small, 6 to 10 people, and it open to anybody, but it's just a small group, man, and it works great.
Well, awesome. I'm glad we got to talk today, man. This has really been a good time. I know it's early in the morning when we're recording this. There people listen to it at any time, but it's a good start to the day to be able to have you share with everyone your experience, for us to get to chat a little bit about real estate. Absolutely love rental real estate. Um, I do want to ask you, because you sound like you're educated. You sound like you've been informed. You mentioned the podcast earlier, but has there been any type of book that you would recommend somebody read to get started, or that really impacted you?
Man, that's a good question because, yeah, absolutely. Or the first book that really got me kicked off, and it took me 2 or 3 times of reading it to really catch it, but was Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And that book, when you understand what he's talking about having money work for you instead of working for money, it opens up your mind to a whole different world. And that was probably the book that got me started. And then his other book, Cash Flow Quadrant. Those two books were kind of my foundation of real estate as far as my education on it. So,
Yeah, and those are awesome books, and I can testify that Barrett is definitely moving through the quadrants for cash flow. I've met him with a full-time job as an employee, and just seeing him, start look at things as a self-employed person and start to look at things as an investor. I mean, it's just your progress is amazing. Very happy to know you, sir. Very, very happy and fortunate to know you and to see your progress as an inspiration.
Man, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. We both have we've came a long way in the last few years, so appreciate the friendship for sure.
Yeah, man, and let's keep it going. Let's keep doing deals. Certainly would like to check in with you, maybe 6 months to a year down the road, because you just started this real estate sales business, and I know you're going to do well with that. I know you've already got lots of listings and some stuff under contract. So in just 3 weeks, I mean, you've gotten going, and you got me competing with you out on Facebook for attention. So.
I think it's been real good. Mossy Oak Properties here in Tupelo. It's been really good, and I'm looking forward to the future. That's for sure.
Very good, very good. Well, thanks for being on the Grab the Map podcast. Look forward to talking with you a little bit later. Those of you that want to reach out, don't forget you can always send me an email. grabthemap@gmail.com. I answer every single email that goes to that email address. And this is where we don't just look at it, we grab the map.